So good afternoon everyone, we are the group 6 and today we will discuss the meaningful verbal learning or subsumption theory of David Ausubel. So I am Blanc Cedrador together with Vanessa May Hilliarda, Rojano Rodrigo Hopson, Hazel May Pasete, and Nice Sumatra. So here is the lesson outline. First is the introduction. Second is the meaningful reception of information. Third is the four process of meaningful learning. And fourth is the advanced organizer, and lastly, the application of principles. So, what is meaningful verbal learning or subsumption theory of David Ausubel? So, many educational psychology theories often criticize the expository or presentational manner of teaching. They say that teachers assume such a major role in learning as provider of information, while students remain as passive receivers of information. So David Ausubel, instead of criticizing this manner of teaching, he proposed ways of improving it. He suggested that use of advanced organizers. His ideas are contained in his theory of meaningful verbal learning. So David Ausubel, born in 1918 and grew up in Brooklyn, New York. And he attended University of Pennsylvania, majoring in psychology for pre-med. And he earned a PhD in developmental psychology from Columbia University. And his most significant contribution was on the development and research on advanced organizer. So David Ausubel's most significant contribution was advanced organizers because they help students to understand new information better. These are brief introduction given before a lesson to connect new ideas with what students already know. So this makes learning easier and more meaningful rather than just memorizing facts. So this is the framework of Ausubel subsumption theory that focuses on meaningful learning and emphasizing how new information connects with existing cognitive structures. This theory of Ausubel's highlights three key components. First is the meaningful reception of information. And the second is the four process of meaningful learning. And the third is the advanced organizer. The theory explains how learners incorporate new knowledge through subsumption, aided by advanced organizers such as expository and narrative techniques. This framework enhances the comprehension by linking new concepts to prior knowledge and fostering deeper understanding. So this time I will discuss the meaningful receptions of information. So first here is the learner's cognitive structure. The learner's cognitive structure is the most important factor influencing learning is the quantity, clarity, and organization of the learner's present knowledge. This present knowledge consists of facts, concepts, propositions, theories, and perpetual data that the learner has available to him or her at any point in time. So, a student's ability to learn depends on how they will organize and understand their existing knowledge. Prior knowledge includes the facts, concepts, and theories which help in learning new information. If prior knowledge is weak, learning becomes difficult. So, we as a teacher should connect new lessons to students' prior knowledge to help them understand better. The prior knowledge can be built through discussions and reviews. So the more students connect new ideas to prior knowledge, the better they understand and remember. So next is the use of advanced graphic organizer. Ausubel believed that before new materials can be presented effectively, the student's cognitive structure should be strengthened. When this is done, acquisition and retention of new information is facilitated. The way to strengthen the student's cognitive structure is by using advanced organizer that allows students to already have a bird's eye view or to see the big picture of the topic to be learned even before going to the details. So, Advanced Graphic Organizer provides students with an overview of a topic before learning details. They help structure knowledge, making learning easier and more meaningful. Like tools like charts, diagrams, and concept maps allow students to visualize connections, Ausubel believed that organizers strengthen cognitive structure and aid retention. So, we as a teacher, we should use diagrams, outlines, and concept maps before lessons to help students understand the topic easily. Like, for example, before a lesson on the solar system, um, the teacher should show a diagram of solar system with the planets labeled. This helps students to understand the overall structure before learning specific details about each planet. And last is the subsumption. Ausubel's belief the use of advanced organizer is anchored in the principle of subsumption. He thought that the primary way of learning is subsumption. Subsumption is a process by which new material is related to relevant ideas in the existing cognitive structure. So, subsumption is the process of linking new knowledge to existing ideas in the brain. It helps students understand and remember information better. If new information has no connection to prior knowledge, it is easily forgotten. So, teachers should always connect lessons to previously learned concepts to make learning more effective and long-lasting. This approach ensures students learn through understanding rather than memorization. So, as a teacher, understanding Ausubel's theory is vital. We need to assess students' prior knowledge, like use the advanced organizers to create a framework for learning, and ensure new information is connected to what students already know. So, this approach facilitates deeper understanding and better retention, making learning more meaningful for our students. We can use various methods like pretests, discussion, discussions, and graphic organizers to achieve meaningful learning. By understanding how our students learn, we can create more effective teaching strategies. So next is the four processes of meaningful learning that will be discussed by Vanessa May Haliarda and Hazel May Pasete.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Vanessa Macy Holyarda, and I will be tackling about the two subsumption under the four processes for meaningful learning. So we have the derivative subsumption and the correlative subsumption. So first, let us define what is subsumption. So when we say subsumption, we are incorporating something under a more general category. It's like we are categorizing. Example, when we say under the category of flowers, we would say rose, tulips, daisy, or sunflowers because those are under the category of the flowers, and that is what we call subsumption. So how is this subsumption connected to our topic? Because according to this theory, one of the process for meaningful learning is you are categorizing subsumption. Example, we do have here the derivative subsumption. So it says that this describes the situation in which the new information you learn is an example of a concept that you have already learned. Meaning you learned or you gained that knowledge that is based or connected to your prior knowledge. Example, let's say you are in a primary level school and then your teacher asks you to give a vegetable and you say cabbage, eggplant, carrot because those are common vegetables and we grow up with those vegetables. However, when your teacher introduces to you broccoli, which is exotic, and since you are in a primary level school, you don't know what is broccoli because that is exotic. You just learned it because your teacher introduces to you. Later on, you've learned that broccoli is also under the category of vegetables. So you are learning, and that is what we call the derivative subsumption. You are adding your existing knowledge and new knowledge to learn. So we have here next is the correlative subsumption. So it says here that it is more valuable than derivative subsumption since it enriches higher level concept. In addition, you add new details to what you already knew. So it enriches higher level concept because you are learning into more deeper level. You are adding details on what is you already knew. So our example here is connected to the derivative subsumption. So you learned the broccoli, which is your new knowledge. That is connected to your existing knowledge, which is the vegetables. Now in correlative subsumption, you add details on the broccoli. You add that the broccoli has a dietary fiber, vitamins, and antioxidant. So in that way, when you add the details into the new knowledge, you are learning into more deeper level that enriches your higher level concept. It is more likely expanding your knowledge. Your new material is an extension or elaboration of what is already known, and that is the correlative subsumption.
Good day everyone, I am Hazme Pasete and today I will discuss the superordinate learning. So superordinate learning is when you knew a lot of examples of the concept but did not know the concept itself until it was taught to you. This type of learning occurs when a person is already familiar with specific examples but has not yet understand the broader category they belong to. It means that learning happens by introducing a more general concept that unifies previously known information. Like, for example, you knew about the banana, mango, dalandan, guava, but you did not know until you were taught that these were all examples of fruits. In this case, the child already knew the lot of examples of the concept but did not know the concept until it was taught to her. This is superordinate learning. Next is the combinatorial learning. It describes a process by which a new idea is derived from another idea that is neither higher or lower in the hierarchy, but at the same level, in a different but related branch. This is when newly acquired knowledge combines with prior knowledge to enrich the understanding of both concepts. In this type of learning, new ideas are understood by linking them to other concepts that are on the same level rather than being ranked higher or lower. It does not involve a hierarchy, but instead establishes connections between related concepts. For example, to teach someone about how plants breathe, you might relate it to their previously acquired knowledge of human respiratory, where man inhales oxygen and exhales carbon dioxide. This is because they are related to each other as they are both labeled as process of breathing.
Good day everyone, my name is Nai Sumatra and now we will be discussing the Advanced Organizer of David Ausubel. The Advanced Organizer is a major instructional tool proposed by Ausubel. The Advanced Organizer gives you two benefits. First is that you will find it easier to connect new information with what you already know about the topic, and secondly, you can readily see how the concepts in a certain topic are related to each other. And as you go about learning about the topic and go through the 4 learning processes, the Advanced Organizer helps you link the new learning to your existing scheme. As such, advanced organizers facilitate learning by helping you organize and strengthen your cognitive structure. David Ausubel's Advanced Organizer is a teaching strategy designed to help students understand and retain new information by connecting it to their prior knowledge. The organizers serve as the cognitive bridge of guiding students through complex content with clarity and purpose. Let's dive deeper into the specific types of organizers. There are 4 types of advanced organizer. First is the expository organizer. Second is the narrative organizer. Third is scheming organizer. And lastly, the graphic organizer. First is the expository
organizer. These organizers are designed to provide a comprehensive overview or explanation of the new material before diving into the details. The purpose of this is that their goal is to describe new content clearly and systematically so students can easily grasp the main ideas. For example of this is that before introducing a complex topic like photosynthesis, an expository organizer might outline the process in simple terms. Photosynthesis is how plants make their food using sunlight, water, and air. This primes students for the detailed lesson that follows. Secondly is the narrative organizer. And this organizer present new information in the form of a story or sequence of events to make it engaging and easier to follow. And the purpose of this is by framing content as a narrative, or the students are more likely to relate to the material and remember the information due to the emotional or chronological connection. And for example, teaching the historical development of democracy might begin with a story. Imagine a small village long ago where people began to gather and decide on rules together. That was the seed of modern democracy. The third is scheming organizers. This organizer involves quickly scanning through new content to get an overall sense of its structure and key points. The purpose of this is this method helps students focus on important ideas without getting overwhelmed by details initially, fostering a strategic approach to learning. And for example, in reading comprehension, students might preview a chapter by looking at headings, bolded terms, and summaries before reading the full text.
Good day everyone. My name is John Rodriguez and today allow me to discuss the graphic organizer. So graphic organizer visuals to set up or outline the new information. This may include pictographs, descriptive patterns, concept patterns, and concept maps. So David Ausubel subsumption theory is the part of his broader theory of meaningful verbal learning, which emphasizes how new information is integrated or subsumed into existing cognitive structures. According to Ausubel, learning occurs most effectively when new material is connected meaningfully to what the learner already knows, rather than through rote memorization. In this context, graphic organizers such as pictographs, descriptive patterns, concept patterns, and the concept maps are powerful tools for organizing, presenting, and helping learners understand the complex new information. So these visuals can help learners see how new content fits into their existing knowledge structures. The role of graphic organizers is to help learners visualize the relationship between new and existing knowledge. According to Ausubel, advanced organizers can be used to introduce new information in a way that links it to existing knowledge. The use of visual aids like pictographs, descriptive patterns, concept patterns, and concept maps can greatly enhance this process by helping learners build or expand their mental frameworks. So I have here the example of graphic organizers. First, the pictographs. So what they are. So pictographs are visual representation of data or concept that use pictures or symbols to represent information. These are often used to represent quantities or show simple relationships between concepts. So how they fit with the subsumption theory. So pictographs help simplify new information by associating abstract concepts with familiar images, and this visual connection aids the learner in subsuming new facts into existing framework. So like for example, if a teacher is introducing the concept of population, they could use a pictograph to show the number of plastic bottles discarded in different locations. So each pictures of a bottle could represent a certain number of discarded items, making it easier for students to connect the concept of population to something tangible and already know. Number 2, the descriptive patterns. So what they are. So the descriptive patterns are visuals that organize information into categories or themes. These are often used to show relationship between concepts, step-by-step processes, or categorization schemes. So how they fit with the subsumption theory. So descriptive patterns allow learners to organize new information logically, helping them fit it into broader cognitive structures. For instance, a pattern could show how different types of energy sources, renewable versus non-renewable, relate to each other. So like for example, in a teaching about the water cycle, a descriptive pattern could be used to show how evaporation, condensation, and precipitation relate to each other. Each stage is shown as a separate concept linked by arrows demonstrating how the water cycle is a process that flows logically from one step to the next. So number 3, the concept patterns. So what are the concept patterns or webs? So concept patterns are visual tools used to show how different concepts are connected within a broader framework. They often take a form of network of related ideas, where each concept is connected by lines or arrows to indicate their relationship. So how they fit with subsumption theory. Concept patterns help learners organize and categorize new information, providing a visual representation of how new ideas connect to and expand existing cognitive structures. These patterns allow learners to see how specific concept can be subsumed into broader concept or themes. So like for example, if teaching about living organisms, the concept patterns might show how concepts like plants, animals, and microorganisms are all related under the larger concept of biology. Students can see how various concepts fit under broader categories. The last one, the concept maps. The concept maps are visual representation of concepts and their relationships. They serve as advanced organizers in the style of Ausubel, providing a structured overview of a topic, facilitating the better knowledge acquisition and comprehension by connecting prior knowledge to new information. They are used to assess understanding and can be created using various software programs. Their applications are whispered across different subjects. So, According to the diagram given, concept maps are used to assess knowledge and comprehension, determining if students understand relationships between concepts. They are a visual tool, and the image show examples of a software, free mind, CMAPs, PowerPoints that can be used to create them. The concept map also highlights that learning is not just memorization and that prior knowledge is necessary condition for effective learning using concept maps. Finally, the image shows various classroom applications of concept maps across different subjects like algebra, biology, and literature, vocabulary, and literature. Connecting this to David Ausubel's advanced organizers, the concept map itself serves as an example of an advanced organizer. Ausubel's theory posits that providing students with an overview of a topic before detailed instruction improves learning and retention. The concept map in the image acts as a pre-instructional framework, allowing learners to connect prior knowledge to new information by visually representing the key concept and their relationships. The the concept maps helps students to organize information and understanding structure of the material before engaging in deeper learning. So let us move forward to the application of principle. Number 1. The most general ideas of a subject should be presented first and then progressively differentiate in the terms of details and specificity. We call this progressive differentiation, and according to Ausubel, the purpose of progressive differentiation is to increase the stability and clarity of anchoring ideas. So the basic idea here is that if you're teaching three related topics, A, B, and C, rather than teaching all of the topic A, then going on to B, you would take a spiral approach. That is, in your first pass through the material, you would teach the big ideas, those highest in the hierarchy, in all three topics. Then on successive passes, you would begin to elaborate the details. Along the way, you would point out principles that the three topics had in common and things that differentiate them. Number 2, instructional materials should attempt to integrate new materials with previously presented information through comparison and cross-referencing of new and old ideas. This principle emphasizes that new information should not be presented in isolation. Instead, instructional material should help learners connect new knowledge to what they already know, their prior knowledge or existing cognitive structures. This can be done through comparison, showing how the new materials is similar to or different from previous learned material, and cross-referencing, showing the connection between the new and old ideas. So here is the attached reference of our report. That's all, and thank you for listening.